And hello there. We're going to start with third series, week 10, believe it or not, day 1, side 1 for you. So we're looking today at notes and rests. Okay? And so with pencils ready, we have notes and rests. So the first thing we need to do is read what's on top of the page. By the way, we have some notes here. We have a half note, and a quarter note, and an eighth note, and a whole note, and a 16th note. Okay, and they'll all be explained here, or re-explained, because we've gone over this in other things before. Music is sound and silence. The sound part is made up of a series of tones, each tone lasting a certain length of time. Long ago, musicians realized that they needed a way to write music. They invented notation to express tones and how long each was supposed to last. A tone is expressed in musical notation as a whole note, ta-da, half note, ta-da, quarter note, ta-da, eighth note, right, and 16th note, right over there. 32nd note, which would have 3 flags, or 64th note, which would have 4 flags. A whole note lasts twice as long as a half note. Okay, or a half note is half of a whole note. A whole note is 4 times as long as a quarter note, or a quarter note is 1/4, 1/4 of a whole note, and so forth. The relative pitch of a tone, which is how high or how low it is on the musical scale, that's the pitch, is shown by its position on a musical staff, right? Treble clef, E, G, B, D, F for the lines, F, A, C, E for the spaces. A pause between tones when there is no sound, so it's not even really a pause, it's just no sound for a certain amount of time, is indicated by a rest. Every note has a matching or corresponding rest. There are whole rests. They look like a dark rectangle hanging down from the line. Half rests, same dark rectangle, but this time it sits on the line, sits on the 3rd line. Whole rest hangs from the 4th. Quarter rest, I call it the lightning bolt rest, shaped like that. Sometimes I draw it with a sideways Z or with a C attached. Eighth rest, that's one that looks like a 7 with a coat hook at the upper end. 16th rest, 2 hooks, or flags is what they really are. 32nd rest, 64th rests, okay, just like notes. A whole rest would be a period of silence that lasts twice as long as a half rest, 4 times as long as a quarter rest, just like with notes, and so forth. Okay? Directions. The word notation can help you fill in some facts about notes and rests. And all of this is in the reading we just did. So number 1, music is made up of a series of, you have 5 letters, blank, blank, N, blank, blank. I believe I saw the word tones in the reading that goes with that. You can do uppercase or lowercase. T-O-N-E-S for tones. Music is made up of a series of tones. I guess if I move out of the way, you can see what I wrote. Okay. Number 2, a blank note lasts twice as long as a half note, or 2 half notes make up, let's see, 5 letters, O in the middle, I believe the word whole, which is like a question word. It has a silent W, but there it is, W-H-O-L-E, whole. Number 3, a pause between notes. Remember, I'm not sure I like the word pause, but it's just silence for that particular line of music. Instead of playing or singing, that would be a rest. Number 4 shows relative pitch of tones. That's that 5-line and 4-space thing that for treble we use E, G, B, D, F for lines and F, A, C, E for for spaces, and that's the staff. Again, all of this is in the reading. Number 5, how high or low a tone is. The word we use for that is the same as the start of a play in baseball. Pitch. Okay? Don't know why they use that word, but it's all right because I like baseball too. Number 6, type of note. It lasts half as long as a quarter note. Or if you remember your fractions, a quarter is a fourth. Half of a fourth would be an eighth. This was in the reading. Okay. Number 7, type of rest lasts twice as long as a half rest. 2 half rests or 2 half notes make up G. We had this word before. 5 letters, O in the middle, whole. It's okay, we can reuse them. Number 8, a rest is a period of blank. Now this is the way I like they defined rest. They didn't mention pause. They used the word silence. And of course we'll realize that our line might have silence, but somebody else might have music to make. Okay. One thing I forgot to do, this is a packet, so you would only probably need to do this on the first page, but you should probably put your name, so when you go to turn it in, I'll know who to give credit to for doing this. Okay. All right. So we're going to turn that over to the scale on the next page. A scale is like a staircase. In the major scale, there are 8 notes or steps that go up the staircase from the bottom to the top. They show you this already. 8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8 different notes over there. Might help I bring it down. These 8 notes make up what is called an octave. Remember, octagon is an 8-sided stop sign. An octave is 8 notes. Okay, or 8 notes apart. Okay, we've done that song about intervals. This is an octave, right? Here's where it all comes into play. These notes have names: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do. That's from another song in that set I do for you. Do, I made my cookies out of dough. Re, like on a sunny, sunny day, and so on, right? You also might remember from The Sound of Music, do, a deer, a female deer, re, a drop of golden sun, right? Okay, so it should not be all that unfamiliar. The notes can also be expressed in alphabetical order. On a C scale, the notes from low to high would be C, D, E, F, G, A, and B, and C. But a scale isn't quite like a typical staircase. In a well-made staircase, all the steps are the same. In a scale, however, some steps are larger than others. The larger steps are called whole step. And a whole step is going to be kind of like a whole note, where it's going to be 2 of something else. Just giving you a heads up. In a major scale, there are 5 whole steps and 2 half steps. Okay, so I'll just, the heads up is 2 half steps will make a whole step. But what we're saying here is that the notes, several of them are 2 half steps apart, and several are only a half step each. Hopefully I didn't confuse you and all that. Well, we'll catch up. The 2 half steps are between E and F, and between B and C. It is possible to raise or lower the pitch of a note by a half tone. The sharp sign, hashtag tic-tac-toe, pound sign, okay? In music, it's called a sharp. It raises the pitch by a half tone. Okay, so we have half notes, and then we have half tones. C sharp, for example, is a half tone higher than C. A flat, and we're not actually talking about A flat yet, we're just talking about A flat, the sign. It looks like the lowercase b. The real one drawn has a, I should be showing it the other way, has a flat edge over here on this side. Okay. All right, where was it? There we are. A flat lowers the pitch by a half tone. D flat would be a half tone lower than D. Can you figure out what note would sound the same as D flat? I was hoping by now I would hear C sharp, and it's okay because I've had to help classes get that, but C sharp, yes. Okay, C sharp and D flat happen to be the same note, just with 2 different names. There are other notes with multiple names too. What about F sharp? Well, F sharp, going up a half step to G. Well, let's see, coming down from G would be G flat. Okay. Directions. Fill in the missing letter or word to complete each sentence below. Then complete the poem in bold by placing each numbered letter on the blank with the same number. So number 1, there are 8 steps in the blank scale. Today we're just talking about major. Now you'll remember one of the other songs we do, but you know, the major key sounds like this. This is a minor key, right? The different moods in that one song with the castle, okay? Yeah, well, we're just talking about major today, but many minor scales only have 8 steps as well. We'll just stick with major for now. A sharp raises pitch by a, well, blank tone. How about a half tone? Okay, again, this is in the reading. Number 3, there are blank whole steps on the major scale. I believe they said 5, which would be correct. 5 whole steps. Those would be between, if we're sticking with key of C, it'd be between C and D, D and E, not E and F and G, G and A and B, not B and C. Okay, and we've come full circle by that point in our octave. Okay, number 4, a blank lowers a pitch by a half tone. That would be a flat. In long ago past, and I would be doing this even today, I would explain that if your car is going along and you get a flat tire, well, it's going to ride lower. And if I didn't happen to remember that I had set something sharp in my chair and I went to sit on it, guess which way I would go? I would go up, right? I hope maybe that helps remembering. I don't mind getting silly. All right, number 5, D flat sounds the same as directly in the reading, folks, C sharp. Number 6, between C and D is a blank step. I believe I was saying that a minute ago. It's a whole step. Okay, what's fun about this page is it's got a little puzzle. You know, and I read this earlier, we take the numbers and we substitute them down here because we have blank steps 5, blank steps 2, blank at both ends. That's a blank for you. Okay, so let's see, where's 10? There's a 10 there. That's one way we can fill these out. Do we have any more 10s? No. The other thing we can do is we could start up here, look for all the ones and put an A in. Like there's a 1 here. Whoops. If I move out of the way. I mean, you have your own sheet in front of you, right? So you should be able to do that. Anyway, 3s, I like doing it this way. I'm looking for all the 3s now, which are H's. There's another 3. That's it. Oh, I skipped 2s. That's right, because 2 is the next one, okay? 2s are all O's. So there's 1 there, and there's 1, okay. Right, 4s are all L's. And yeah, I stuck with lowercase, but I know L might look like I to some of you, so just do the best you can, you know. Number 5, F's. There's not many of them. 6s are V's. Okay. 7 is E's. So obviously I'm showing different ways to do this, a little inconsistently, but that's okay. You are smart enough to figure that out. And so there's the bottom of our page. It says whole steps 5, half steps 2. See at both ends, that's an octave for you. And we're poets and we didn't know it. Actually, I'm pretty sure they planned that. Okay. So this is on the back of the first page where we already wrote our name. Don't really need to write our name there. Okay. Probably don't even need to on the next page unless you plan on just tearing pages out. And that's only because, you know, it's attached. But I will tell you a little secret about me. When I was in elementary school, I liked writing my name on everything. I even had teachers that annoyed. Doesn't bother me. Just make sure you put your name on somewhere so I can identify you, okay? The staff. They're actually showing you over here a grand staff. Treble staff up top, bass staff down below, okay? And piano players, Have to look at that. One hand usually plays the upper and one hand plays the lower usually. Okay. Musical notes are written on a staff. We've talked about that already. A staff is made up of 5 lines, 5 horizontal lines. Oh, there we go. Horizontal go this way. Vertical, if you remember, go this way. Those will be bar lines later. You know, they go up and down. Okay. 4 spaces between the lines. Okay, we couldn't put music in the spaces too. F-A-C-E are the spaces for treble clef. Each move upward to the next line or space represents a move to the next higher note, just like that. Okay. The clef is a sign placed on the staff. Here's treble clef. Oh, treble clef. Here's bass clef. You're the very cool bass clef. There is a reason I've gone over those songs numbers of times over the years. Okay. Treble clef indicates the second line is G, right, above middle C. E, G, B, D, F. Okay, I stopped at the second line. That's the G line, and that's what treble clef marks. Okay. A staff that has a treble clef is used for music for instruments with a higher range, like violin, flute, recorder, vocal singing, boomwhackers, hand chimes, trumpet, almost everything the band plays on treble clef. There are a couple exceptions. Another kind of clef is called the bass clef. It is a comma-like symbol that starts on the 4th line of the staff. A staff that has a bass clef is used in music for instruments with a lower range, like a trombone or a cello. The vertical lines on the staff are called bars. The space between 2 bar lines is called a measure. All music is divided into measures. If a piece of music is written in 3/4 time, there are 3 beats to each measure, and a quarter note gets 1 beat. Directions: use facts about the staff to fill in the crossword puzzle below. Crossword puzzles, okay. I generally like to go in order. Okay, so I'm going to start with 2 across, which has, here if I move, there we go, has 6 letters. Blank clef indicates second line is G above middle C. I believe that was, I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Or, you know, goes with that mug that I was given at Christmas time. That's sitting near one of the TVs in the classroom. At the moment, anyway. Okay, 3 across has 5 letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Musical notes are written on a blank. That's that staff. 5 horizontal lines and 2 spaces in between. So there we have it. Oh, by the way, you don't have to fill these in over here. I thought maybe I would just so you can see them there too, but this is really all I'm looking for. Or if you have trouble doing that, plotting them here, then just put answers over there. I'm pretty flexible about this. Just be involved. Music rule letter I, involve. Number 6, space between 2 bar lines is called the measure. I didn't stop on this very much, but yeah, your bar lines are the vertical ones, okay? And they divide the music up into measures. Measure it out that way. Maybe that helps. Number 7, vertical lines on the staff. Those are the bar lines. In this thing they call them bars, which is okay. There's other meanings for that word. I start thinking about candy, and I don't need any candy right now. Okay, but there's bars. Number 8, in 3/4 time, a blank note gets 1 beat. 4 on the bottom is what's important. And they just kind of whipped through it up here in the reading, but it's there, the quarter note. Okay. All right, number 5, clefs. Oh, whoop. I'm getting ahead of myself. I can hear you in class saying you skipped stuff, Mr. Klassy, and you're right. Number 1, sign placed on staff. That would be the clef, C-L-E-F, not to be confused with a cliff. I hope we don't fall off of those. Okay, number 4, number of spaces between lines on staff. That is 4. 4. Golf talk? No, not today. It snowed today. I don't know there'll be anybody golfing. Number 5, clef sign used for instruments with lower range. That's bass, B-A-S-S. Notice I read that earlier, and I didn't say bass, although I love to fish too, and I love to eat freshly caught bass. Hint, hint. Anyway, number 5, clef sign. So we just did that, bass. And not spelled the same way as baseball. See, there's so many connections to music. Isn't it great? And I do know them. Number 7, in 3/4 time, a measure has 3, that's the note on top, 3 beats in the measure. All right, I'm going to move this on to the next one. I'll try and get 2 more done in this recording today. Rhythm and tempo. Okay, so we got to put that into all of this too. Place the index and middle fingers of one hand on the other side of the opposite wrist. Now that I have my document camera, and a good one, I can show you with that. I used to do this another way, but this is what they're telling you. And you might have to look for it sometimes. I'm actually, there it is right there. I'm looking for my heartbeat. Even when I was a kid, I had trouble doing that. So if you have trouble, it's okay, but you should be able to feel it there. And of course not, you can also do the hand over the heart, and I generally feel mine that way, you know, like I'm getting ready to say the pledge, except I'm sitting down, so that wouldn't be appropriate. Okay, place the index, we just did that. Find your pulse. That steady beat you feel is a basic form of rhythm. As long as you're sitting here like I am, it's going to stay steady. Now, if I had gotten up and ran around the block or the yard for a while, then it'd be faster. And if I was laying in bed, it'd be slower. Okay. Biology today again. That steady beat you feel is the basic form of rhythm. All music, fast or slow, has rhythm. Rhythm is the steady flow of music in time. Tempo, largo, or presto, 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 presto. Those are tempo words. They refer to how fast or slow the rhythm is. A tempo that is largo is very slow, while a tempo that is presto is very fast. In between largo and presto are adagio, slow, andante, moderately slow, moderato, medium, allegretto, a little faster than moderato, and allegro, fast but not as fast as presto. And I'm going to warn you ahead of time, there are a lot more words that are used like these. And I didn't know all of them even until about college, you know, to become a music teacher. So if you don't know them all now, it's okay. But just know that they're there, just that they exist, okay? When we tap our feet to music, we are tapping or moving to the beat. An accented beat, usually the first beat of a measure, is played slightly louder. When we're doing pitched percussion at the tables, I'm usually counting that first beat as the measure number so we don't lose our place. But you'll notice I accent it, and first beat is always accented. Accented beats make a rhythm more interesting. When the accent comes on some other beat of the measure, the rhythm is called syncopated. Much jazz music is syncopated. I was also planning on doing a jazz unit at the end of this year, besides these theory booklets, and we'll see. I could probably do some from home just as easily. Unscramble the words below. A clue is given to help you figure out each scrambled word. Then place the numbered letters on the blanks at the bottom. Be sure to place every numbered letter on the blank with the matching number. Okay, so these are scrambled words, and they're all up here in the reading. 6 letters, it has these, G-O-A-I-D-I-A. I'm just going to go ahead and take out the guesswork. Okay, I'm pretty sure some of you probably were ready to blurt right at me. Okay, when we do these as a class in the room, I usually allow a little bit. So, okay, presto, very fast, we know that. Gris total. By the way, that last one almost was a word, rest stop. But that's not how you spell rest stop. A little faster than medium, allegretto. And of course, if you guys have internet, you know, at home, and you're, okay, where are these coming from? You can look them up. Isn't that great? Okay, the next one, moderately slow. This is actually, the word means in a walking pace. Not like me trying to get through the hallway fast, mind you, but the way I should go. Andante. Kind of just an amble, a leisure speed. The words I use to name the various tempos in music are in... Didn't cover this, but all we got to do is move the letters down like we did on a previous page. I, T, A, L, I, A, N. Italian. And I know I've mentioned that before. All right, one more. Okay, melody and harmony. Again, optional. I had an obsession. Oh, I used to get in trouble writing my name. And at times I didn't need to. Probably because I was a slow writer and I wanted to practice. Anyway, melody is a series of tones that are pleasing and interesting and come to a logical conclusion. That's the kind of melody we can learn or we can compose and somebody else can learn. A good melody is highly memorable and feels complete when it is played to its end. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. We need more, right? How I wonder what you are, and then finishing, right? Often a melody can produce a strong emotional response in a listener. It may create a question and answer feeling. How I wonder what you are would be the answer to Twinkle, twinkle, little star. We're not talking about lyrics. We're just talking about the melody, the phrases in the melody, okay? Harmony is what you hear when several music notes are played at the same time. I often get our choirs eventually singing two notes at the same time. That's harmony, and that's, to me, the most fun way to do it with our voices. A series of notes played at the same time produce a chord. I have us make chords a lot when we're at the tables. When we get to guitar studies, we do chords as well. Usually harmony provides background for the melody. It gives depth to the music. Counterpoint is a way of producing harmony by playing or singing other melody to go along with the main melody. Usually counterpoint involves at least two different melodies. A round, in which people sing the same melody at different starting points, is a form of counterpoint. I love the mountains, I love the rolling hills, I love the flowers. And right there at I love the flowers, some of us would start over at I love the mountains at the same time. That's a round. We were going to do one. Anyway. All right, so we're going to go on here. Directions. Fill in the missing word to complete each sentence below. Then complete the sentence in bold by placing each numbered letter on the blank with the same number. We've done something like that. Twice in this video anyway. In a round, the blank. The same blank is sung but at different starting points. That would be melody. And of course when that happens, it makes a neat sounding harmony. Harmony usually provides a blank for the melody. A blank for the melody. Background is what we're looking for. If you're thinking counterpoint, you're not alone. I was honestly thinking it for a few seconds there. There's the next one. Counterpoint usually involves at least blank different melodies, and that would be two. And it's just a special form of harmony, which also usually would involve more than one note. Okay, blank. A blank is produced by playing a series of notes at the same time. Some people are still going to say chord, no matter what, like they say choir for choir, but it's the hard CH, it's the K, so it's a chord. Okay. A well-known round, also a form of counterpoint, and I'm glad I remembered not to mention this one. I mentioned I Love the Mountains. We did an America one with our choir a few years ago, but I'm going to go ahead. You can, let's see, 8s or R's. Ooh, there's quite a few of them. 1 is O. I bet some of you already know. That's okay. You can blurt when you're at home. You're not giving it away. And again, for something like this, I'd encourage you probably not to blurt if we were all together. But you're fine where you are. Okay, 2Y. Yes, row, row your boat. I think that's enough third series booklet for today.